Hey everyone, welcome back to Stonehill Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Kim. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back and sharing my canning journeys with me. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Today we are processing garlic scapes. And as you can see, I have a sink full of garlic scapes. And these are from hardneck garlic. In northern Indiana, that's what we grow. And the hardneck garlic is the one that produces the scape. You want to harvest those scapes so that you can get the bulb to develop bigger for harvest when I will be doing them in July. I'll be harvesting garlic in July, the bulbs. Here I am wrapping up the garlic, and I am going to twist these scapes and put those in the jars. We're doing 8-pint jars today, and I want to do the full garlic scape. It's more of a novelty than anything, and I want to see what it takes to do that and if it's worthwhile. But as you can see later on in the video, it is a very tedious project. So if you would give me a thumbs up here or hit that bell to subscribe so you can come along this summer with other canning jobs. We would love to have you come along. So I'm going to get started on packing these jars. And I have weighed out 8 ounces of scapes. It says that 8 ounces of scape will fit into a pint jar. Well, I'm here to tell you that was a chore. And I decided only one jar was going to happen with those curled up garlic scapes. As you can see, they look very nice, but I don't see any reason to have any more than one jar. But they do look cool. The rest I chopped up nicely, and I just made them in pieces, and those we can use on pizza, eating just pickled garlic, just like you would a pickle. So I'm excited about that, and I'm very happy the way that these are looking and turning out so far. Now I'm going to make my brine. And in the brine, I am adding a half a teaspoon of peppercorns into each jar, as you see here. And you could mix all the spices together, but I don't see any reason to do that. When I've got the jars open, I can put them directly into the jar. Then my next one is mustard seed. I am also adding a half a teaspoon of mustard seed to each jar. And spices aren't a big deal with acidity. The brine is where it's important. You want to make sure that you've got your brine the way it says. Spices are just adding flavor. The last thing I'm adding here is a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You don't have to use that if you don't want the heat. We prefer a little bit of heat to it, and we really enjoy that. And how many of you have ever done this with garlic scapes? Has anybody ever tried fermenting them? I do a lot of fermenting pickles, and I'm just wondering if fermented garlic scapes are tasty as well. If you've done that, leave it down in the description. I would love to know that, and if you've ever tried it. So now I'm going to work on the brine. And the brine is water, apple cider vinegar, salt, and sugar. And I will leave the complete recipe down in the description. So we're going to go ahead and start here with the water, and then we're going to add the apple cider vinegar. And once those are all coming to a boil with the added salt, pickling salt. Please use pickling salt. Do not use table salt that has iodine or iodized in it, because it makes it cloudy. You just don't want that for your canning stuff. So make sure you definitely use pickling salt. Here I am pouring the salt in there. And then I'm adding my sugar. This is pure cane sugar. It does have a brownish color, but it is not brown sugar. It is normal pure cane sugar that I get from Azure Standard. We're going to bring this to a boil now. And once I bring that to a boil, we'll start adding it to the jars. So each jar is ready to go. And here I am taking the brine, and I'm going to fill that up to have a 1/2 inch headspace in each jar. And once I get it done, I will debubble all of those jars, make sure that all the rims are wiped, and then we will get it canning. And it takes a little bit here to get all your jars, but I am adding that boiling liquid in there to those hot jars. I know I'm zipping through the video here, but the jars are hot or warm, and the brine, of course, you can see is boiling. And we're just going to add that, and I'm going to finish doing that, and we'll get back when we're ready to put it in the canner. And now that I'm done pouring all the brine over, I'm just wiping off each rim to make sure it's nice and clean so that that seal remains good for us. And I've debubbled and checking the headspace on that. And as you can see, I'm trying to shove those curly ones down. Very pretty in the jar, but it is just kind of tedious. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you've got lots of time and prefer to do that. And now I'm going to apply the lids on to each of these jars and get these going. I am using my 4 jars lids, which are my go-to lid. I've only had an occasional failure, and again, it's always been user error. It's not the lid. They are perfect lids. I love them, and from here on out, I would imagine I'm going to use 4 jars lids. And now I'm applying my rings, and remember, don't over tighten. It will cause your lids to buckle. So I just tighten them and then back it off just a little bit. And as I'm doing this, I am putting them into the water bath canner. And as you can see, everything's in the canner. And we are going to drop these hot jars down into hot water. I don't let my water boil, but it is very hot to match the temperature in the jar. We want to avoid thermoshock. I also add white vinegar into the water of the water bath canner just to prevent that white film from coming out on the jars when I'm done canning. And now I'm done canning, and I'm going to take that lid off away from me because you don't want steam burns. And we're just going to let things cool down a little bit more. I let it usually sit about 10 to 15 minutes afterwards before I start pulling things out. And again, that is just to prevent that thermoshock. We're going to lift these out, and I let them sit again for a few minutes. I'm just trying to not break my jars or buckle lids or siphoning. I want to prevent all of that. And it has sat for a bit, so now I'm going to start pulling these jars out. And we're just going to leave them set 24 hours here on the counter and let them cool off. Then I'll take the rims off, wipe the jars down again with a good soapy cloth or a clean cloth with some vinegar, just to get any residue off that may have siphoned out. We're hoping that did not happen. But we would just want to make sure they're nice and clean before they go down on your canning shelf, for the simple fact you don't want to have any mold or anything growing. There's those wrapped up garlic scapes, and when I open those, of course, I will try and share that in a video. But those are more for a pretty drink. Some people would use them in Bloody Marys. I just want to see what they're like. It was more of a fun thing for me to try out. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, be blessed and laugh as much as you breathe. Have a great day, everyone.